Are a million minds really better than one when it comes to pretty much anything, maybe solving crimes?
CBS's newest drama puts that idea to the test and wisdom of the crowd.
They caught and convicted a former addict named Carlos Ochoa. The only problem is this. I think they got the wrong guy. More evidence would emerge if a platform existed for it to come forward. I have created that platform. I call it Sophie. And as of right now, it is active. Sophie is real-time, crowd-sourced crime solving.
I love that line.
There you go. The show stars Jeremy Piven as a high-tech pioneer whose daughter was murdered, and Richard T. Jones, who investigated this case. Welcome, gentlemen. Such an interesting, dramatic series. Tell me what the concept is.
Well, I play Jeffrey Tanner, who's a kind of a tech guru, and his daughter is murdered, and he feels that they convicted the wrong guy. So he starts this crowdsourced crime-solving platform, and he gets Detective Tommy Cavanaugh, who was the detective on the case, who he believes is a straight shooter. He tries to get him to help him to solve this case, and Richard is very old school. Tommy Cavanaugh's very old school, and my character is driven by grief, and he hasn't dealt with it, so he's completely obsessed with finding whoever murdered his daughter, thinking that'll kind of like solve all his problems and soothe the grief, and that's not going to be the case. And you know, as you alluded to, like anytime you crowdsource anything, it's like you're going to get a lot of information you may not be able to use, but 10% of it will be incredibly usable. So we do that in our daily lives, whether it's Yelp, you know, or ways to try to, you know, get to work or whatnot. So it's really about embracing collaboration.
But it's also about the danger of giving up privacy and of creating an organism that may not have existed before. There's a scene I saw where one of your suspects comes out of a train, and there's like a crowd, almost like a vigilante crowd, waiting for him. That's scary.
It is scary, and you know, there's a huge duality that could happen. It could, if people want to do something good in this life, and we're building on that premise. But yeah, it could incite vigilante behavior as well, and that's why I think it's good.
And I think that's where my character comes in. I'm really skeptical of where this might lead.
Old school meets new school.
Exactly.
Well, professional meets non-professional.
Right, absolutely.
Exactly. And as a professional police officer, when you speak to them, the one thing they worry about is people trying to take the law in their own hands or trying to think that they know how to investigate crime. So that's where I believe Tommy and Jeffrey have a little battle going between us.
You guys are such accomplished actors. So what drew you to your characters and to this series?
Well, you know, when I was reading the script, I hadn't seen this before, and you know, I'm kind of a caveman with technology myself, and so to play a guy who was a great deal smarter than me was exciting. Just the idea, you know, and I just think it's a very fertile premise that he's trying to kind of soothe his grief, and he feels like if he finds his killer, it'll happen, and it won't. So I think ultimately he could be doing a lot of the wrong things for the right reasons. So I just think it's kind of a brilliant premise, and he feels like kind of a rotary phone that's like dealing with technology.
Well, and you know, it's really interesting too for your character, and it kind of bolsters what your character says. One of the first clues, or one of the first things that gets solved that comes in, is a crime, but it's not the crime of catching your daughter's murderer.
Right. No,
and your face is like, wait a minute, this isn't why I created this.
Yeah, exactly. He has a difficulty dealing with that fact that, wait a minute, this could be used for a greater good, too. You know what I'm saying? Other things, and he wasn't looking at it that way. It was specifically to solve.
What are you thinking about, Jeremy?
No, just that, you know, it was interesting because, you know, my character had a singular focus of finding the killer of his daughter, and he stumbles upon the fact that they can solve many crimes with this platform, and, you know, the actor, myself, you know, I don't want to be in, you know, a procedural, you know, because that's not the way I ever envisioned myself. And this show truly is a hybrid, and it stumbles upon all these things organically. So it's not, you know, you know, they do have these other shows which serve this incredible purpose as procedurals, but this isn't that. It's truly a hybrid.
It's gonna be
We're
so
looking forward to seeing
It's going to be
it.
so cool.
It looks extremely interesting. Thank you guys for joining us this
Thank you
morning.
for waking up early.
I know. I'm telling you.
We want to
Way
tell everybody
early.
that you can watch the series premiere Sunday night at 8:30 right here on CBS. Do I have to say Sunday night, 8:30?